Energy. It's everywhere around us and inside us. It powers our homes, our vehicles, and our bodies. It's essential for life as we know it, and yet most of us take it for granted. From the moment we wake up to the moment we go to sleep, we are constantly using energy. But what exactly is energy? Where does it come from? And how can we use it more efficiently and sustainably? Energy is defined as the ability to do work. It comes in many different forms, from the food we eat to the electricity that powers our homes. There are two main categories of energy: kinetic energy, which is the energy of motion, and potential energy, which is stored energy. For example, a moving car has kinetic energy, while a car at rest on a hill has potential energy. Our bodies convert the food we eat into energy to power our muscles and organs. This is an example of chemical energy being converted into kinetic energy. Similarly, a hydroelectric dam converts the potential energy of water stored in a reservoir into kinetic energy as the water flows through turbines, which then convert it into electrical energy. Solar panels convert sunlight into electrical energy. This is an example of radiant energy being converted into electrical energy. Energy is everywhere, and it's constantly being converted from one form to another. But where does it all come from? To answer that question, we need to go back to the beginning of the universe. The Big Bang, which happened around 14 billion years ago, created all the energy in the universe. This energy has been transforming and spreading out ever since. The sun, like other stars, is a giant ball of energy. It's constantly converting hydrogen into helium through nuclear fusion, releasing a huge amount of energy in the process. This energy travels through space as sunlight, which then provides energy to our planet. Plants capture sunlight and convert it into chemical energy through photosynthesis. Animals eat plants or other animals to get this energy. And so, the energy from the sun is transferred through the ecosystem, powering life on Earth. Humans have learned to harness energy in many different ways to power our civilization. From burning wood and fossil fuels to capturing wind and sunlight, we have developed a wide range of technologies to convert energy into usable forms. However, our increasing demand for energy and our reliance on non-renewable sources of energy, such as coal, oil, and natural gas, have led to a host of environmental problems, including air pollution, habitat destruction, and climate change. It's clear that we need to find more sustainable ways to use energy. But what does that mean? And how can we achieve it? In this video, we will explore the different sources of energy, their impacts on the environment, and the technologies that are being developed to create a more sustainable energy future. We will also look at the ways in which we can all contribute to reducing our energy consumption and our environmental footprint. Let's start by taking a closer look at the different sources of energy. Sources of energy: coal, oil, and natural gas are fossil fuels, which have been the primary sources of energy for much of human history. These are non-renewable resources, meaning they cannot be replaced once used up. Fossil fuels are extracted from the earth through mining and drilling. They are then processed and burned to produce energy. Coal-fired power plants, for example, burn coal to heat water and produce steam, which then turns a turbine to generate electricity. Oil is refined into gasoline and diesel, which are used to power vehicles and machinery. Natural gas is used for heating, cooking, and electricity generation. However, burning fossil fuels releases a large amount of carbon dioxide, CO2, and other greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. These gases trap heat and cause the Earth's temperature to rise, leading to climate change. Climate change has serious consequences for our planet, including melting glaciers, rising sea levels, and more frequent and severe weather events. Fortunately, there are more sustainable sources of energy available. Renewable energy comes from sources that are naturally replenished, such as the sun, wind, and water. Solar energy is harnessed using solar panels, which convert sunlight into electricity. Wind energy is captured using wind turbines, which convert the kinetic energy of the wind into mechanical energy, which is then converted into electricity. Hydroelectric power is generated by using water to turn turbines, which then generate electricity. Geothermal energy is another form of renewable energy. It is harnessed by tapping into the heat beneath the Earth's surface to produce steam, which then turns a turbine to generate electricity. Biomass energy is produced by burning organic materials, such as wood, crop residues, and animal waste. Biofuels, such as ethanol and biodiesel, are made from organic materials and can be used as a substitute for gasoline and diesel. Nuclear energy is produced by splitting atoms in a process called nuclear fission. This releases a large amount of heat, which is used to produce steam and turn a turbine to generate electricity. However, nuclear energy has its drawbacks. It produces radioactive waste, which must be safely stored for thousands of years. And there is always a risk of a nuclear meltdown or explosion. Each source of energy has its advantages and disadvantages. Fossil fuels are abundant and relatively cheap, but they cause pollution and contribute to climate change. Renewable energy is clean and sustainable, but it can be expensive and is not always available when needed. Nuclear energy is powerful and efficient, but it comes with safety and waste disposal concerns. One of the challenges of transitioning to renewable energy is that it is not always available when needed. The sun doesn't always shine and the wind doesn't always blow. Therefore, we need to develop better ways to store energy for later use. Batteries, pumped hydro storage, and hydrogen fuel cells are some of the technologies being developed to store energy. Another challenge is to develop a smart grid that can efficiently distribute energy from various sources to where it is needed. Technologies for a sustainable energy future. As we have seen, our current reliance on fossil fuels is unsustainable. Not only are they finite resources, but their extraction and use also cause significant environmental damage. To create a more sustainable energy future, we need to invest in renewable energy technologies and improve energy efficiency. Solar panels, wind turbines, hydroelectric dams, geothermal plants, and biomass facilities are all examples of renewable energy technologies that can help reduce our dependence on fossil fuels. Solar energy is one of the most promising renewable energy sources. The sun provides an abundant and constant source of energy, and solar panels can convert this energy into electricity without producing any harmful emissions. Wind energy is another important renewable energy source. Wind turbines can convert the kinetic energy of the wind into mechanical energy, which can then be converted into electricity. Hydroelectric power and geothermal energy are also important sources of renewable energy. Hydroelectric dams use water to tum turbines and generate electricity, while geothermal plants tap into the heat beneath the Earth's surface to produce steam and turn a turbine. Biomass energy is produced by burning organic materials, such as wood, crop residues, and animal waste. This can be a sustainable option if the biomass is sourced responsibly and does not lead to deforestation or habitat destruction. However, one of the challenges of renewable energy is that it is not always available when needed. The sun doesn't always shine and the wind doesn't always blow. Therefore, we need to develop better ways to store energy for later use. Batteries are one way to store energy. They can store electricity when it is abundant and release it when it is needed. Pumped hydro storage is another way to store energy. It involves pumping water uphill into a reservoir when electricity is abundant and releasing it to generate electricity when it is needed. Hydrogen fuel cells are another promising energy storage technology. They can convert hydrogen gas into electricity and store it for later use. Energy and thermodynamics. Energy is a fundamental concept in physics that underpins all natural phenomena. It can be converted from one form to another, but it cannot be created or destroyed. This is known as the law of conservation of energy. Thermodynamics is the branch of physics that deals with the relationships between heat and other forms of energy. There are 4 laws of thermodynamics that describe how energy behaves in natural systems. The first law of thermodynamics, also known as the law of energy conservation, states that the total energy of a closed system is constant. This means that energy can be transferred between different parts of the system or converted from one form to another, but the total amount of energy in the system remains the same. The second law of thermodynamics states that the total entropy, or disorder, of a closed system will always increase over time. This means that natural processes tend to move towards a state of greater disorder. For example, when water boils, the water molecules move more randomly, increasing the entropy of the system. The third law of thermodynamics states that the entropy of a perfect crystal at absolute zero temperature is zero. This means that at absolute zero, a perfect crystal would have no disorder at all. The zeroth law of thermodynamics states that if 2 systems are in thermal equilibrium with a third system, they are in thermal equilibrium with each other. This means that if 2 objects are at the same temperature as a third object, they are at the same temperature as each other. These laws of thermodynamics govern the behavior of energy in all natural processes. They explain why heat flows from hot objects to cold objects, why engines need fuel to run, and why we need to eat food to stay alive. Understanding the principles of thermodynamics is crucial for developing more efficient energy conversion and storage technologies. For example, improving the efficiency of power plants, designing better batteries, and developing more efficient transportation systems all require a deep understanding of thermodynamics. Nuclear energy. Nuclear energy is one of the most controversial and important sources of energy in the world today. It has the potential to provide a large amount of electricity with a relatively small amount of fuel and without producing carbon emissions. Unlike fossil fuels, nuclear energy does not produce carbon dioxide, which makes it an attractive option for reducing greenhouse gas emissions. The fuel for nuclear power plants is uranium, a naturally occurring element that is mined from the Earth. Uranium is converted into fuel rods, which are used in nuclear reactors to generate heat. In a nuclear reactor, the uranium fuel rods are placed in a core, where they undergo a controlled nuclear reaction. This reaction releases a large amount of heat, which is used to generate steam and turn a turbine to generate electricity. The steam is then cooled and condensed back into water, which can be used again in the reactor. One of the biggest challenges of nuclear energy is the disposal of nuclear waste. Nuclear waste is radioactive and can remain dangerous for thousands of years. It needs to be stored safely to prevent it from contaminating the environment. Another concern with nuclear energy is the risk of accidents. Although nuclear power plants are designed with multiple safety systems, accidents can still happen, as we have seen with the Chernobyl and Fukushima disasters. Despite these challenges, nuclear energy remains an important part of the global energy mix. It provides a reliable source of electricity and can help reduce our dependence on fossil fuels. Creating a more sustainable energy future will require a combination of different energy sources and technologies. Renewable energy, energy efficiency, and nuclear energy all have a role to play. We hope you have enjoyed this video and found it informative. If you are interested in learning more and would like to see a second part of this video, let us know in the comments section. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one. Stay curious.